3 times as many engines, Draco engines, and have 4 times the power, like 10,000 newtons of power, um, versus the millions of newtons for the Starship. But it'd be enough to push the space station in around 2030, 2032, out of orbit so it burns up in a controlled manner. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Next Big Future. I'm my good friend Brandy here with me, and we're going to discuss the huge news about the capabilities of SpaceX's Starship rocket. So I'll quickly go over that, and then we will discuss that capability.
Does SpaceX have a rocket?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they have a rocket. So the SpaceX Starship upper stage is almost as powerful as the Saturn V moon rocket. That's just the upper stage. Not talking about the bottom stage. The bottom stage, which is
the ship itself.
Launching. The ship itself, the upper stage only, with 9 engines, has 83% of the power of the Saturn V. The Saturn V had 35.4 million newtons of thrust. A 9-engine Starship, according to FAA documentation, has 28.7 million newtons of thrust. If you can make 11 engines, like squeeze 2 more engines into the bottom there, then you would exceed the power of the Saturn V.
Or just increase the power of each engine.
Or increase the power of each engine.
Which apparently Elon, kind of does. Elon and his team are doing that all the time.
Right. I have a little table of that. So the thrust to weight ratio, usable tons, we probably at Raptor 2 right now, 150 tons per Raptor engine. In expendable mode, it can 250 tons for this to how much payload capacity, actually for all the engines, not the thrust of the engines. The ton thrust of the engines is line 2, 230 tons at sea level for each engine. Yeah. And then they're talking about a Raptor 3 engine, which is coming out, which will have 280 tons of thrust. It will also be able to not have a heat shield because it'll have liquid cooling or fluid cooling in the wall of the engine to keep it cool. So they're looking to increase the power from 230 to 280 tons.
Wow.
Then enable the 9-engine vehicle to perhaps exceed the thrust of a Saturn V. And then they can even go beyond that, another 20% beyond to 335 tons in line 2. So here's, so this is where we saw that from the FAA document, 28.7 million newtons of thrust. That's the 5th line. And then the propellant quality of an upgraded Starship. It would use more fuel, 2650 versus a 2022 design of a Starship. So they had filed an environmental report for a older version of Starship in 2022, and then now over 50% more power to 2650, more propellant, and then over double the power from 12 million newtons up to 28.7. And the length of it, they're talking about going from 50 meters to 70 meters. So basically the upgraded Starship would be just shy of the height of the booster, the previous booster, right? So they're upgrading size and power on all things. They were talking about 37 engines. We didn't go to, they had 33 engines in the test vehicle, but they had the FAA specs up to 37. And now they're talking about 35 engines and this 103 million newtons for the upgraded Super Heavy, which is the booster stage.
Yeah.
And let's see. So then here we see in the Mega Bay, three or four fully completed Super Heavy boosters all at one go. So there were only ever, I think, 7 or 8 Saturn V's, and here we have half that number just sitting in one Mega Bay because it will high volume. Part of that application to the FAA for environmental study was to increase the number of launches per year to 25, up from being allowed to do 5 Super Heavy launches and then 10 Starship landings, because they had the number specified for the test phase, and they're going beyond the test phase to 25 launches.
Yeah, wow.
And
Speaking of, speaking,
lastly, go
speaking,
ahead.
speaking of launches, are you gonna drive down to Texas if they're gonna catch that if they're planning to catch the booster
The booster?
in the
Unfortunately, no. I won't be able to drive down, just some family commitments and stuff, driving kids to school and that kind of thing.
that's the first time I've been kind of intrigued that I might drive down there. I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm. Well, it's definitely going to be a history-making thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's will be more history-making things,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
I'll yeah, I'd like to watch it. Also, they announced that NASA is paying SpaceX slightly over $80 million to develop a super dragon. So the Dragon capsule is smaller than this, which is for bringing astronauts to the space station and doing other things with astronauts up in orbit.
Mhm.
This is 3 times as many engines, Draco engines, and it had 4 times the power, like 10,000 newtons of power, um, versus the millions of newtons for the Starship. But it'd be enough to push the space station in around 2030, 2032 out of orbit so it burns up in a controlled manner. They had looked at options to raise the orbit and save it. And I've had a lot of people talk to me about, they should save it as a museum thing and move it up. It costs $1.32 billion a year to keep the space station going.
Oh wow.
Uh, so it's very expensive. Also, all the parts in there are 30 years old. They were designed to last for 30 years. So
Okay.
they're running out of time on those things. So like even if you could save it, everything's going to start breaking soon and then be like insanely expensive to get 30-year-old parts from companies that may no longer exist to
Yeah.
keep this thing going,
Well,
right?
and Elon said it'll be the greatest show on earth. I mean,
Okay.
do you think people are going to go out in their boats into that part of the Pacific Ocean where it's going to be deorbited and watch the meteor shower? Or because he says they'll get video of it. So we'll get
Right.
to see this video of all this stuff raining down. But
Mm.
boy, going and see it in person would be something else.
I'm sure there'll at least be some cruise ship companies or people with luxury boats who arrange to make that view
Yeah.
as a once in a lifetime. Well, possibly there could be
Possibly.
more, it could happen more often, but
Yeah, probably a long time before they deorbit the space station again. So you
right.
said on another show with me one time that Tesla would be able to put up a new space station like in a week. No, you
SpaceX.
didn't say that. I'm
The SpaceX. Yeah. I think yeah, SpaceX could put up because basically
I said Tesla. Yeah,
the
space.
upper stage of the Starship, they'll get it so they can hold astronauts. And then the volume inside,
Yeah.
especially when they make the stretch version 70 meters long, will hold more volume, even without doing anything to it, than the space station. So instead of doing 50 launches, a bunch of moonwalks, I can just take that, just leave it there, and then it would be a space station as big as the International Space Station now, right?
So
And all
yes,
up to date new
you
stuff.
can just outfit it before you go, outfit it with offices and all the different things that you want to accomplish over the
Yeah.
next 30 years and send it up. Okay.
Right, right. But I was saying that you could also land it on the moon and
Yeah.
then tip it over, and then if you remove the empty fuel tanks,
Right.
right, then you'd have like 3 times the volume of the space station.
Right.
It'd be like some three, four, it's 9 meters tall, so it's like a 4-story tall structure
Right.
on its side that would have, like 15,000 square feet. It's just like
Right.
be,
Right.
be huge. Right. So everything about space is getting bigger finally than the Saturn V. Saturn V was the high watermark
Oh
in terms
yeah.
of size and power, and now we're going to go way beyond it. Way beyond it with the Starship, as powerful as Saturn V soon. The booster 3 times, maybe even get to 4 times as powerful as Saturn V, and then even the orbital tugboat things getting stronger, bigger, and more powerful. So a lot to look forward to in getting to a real space age.
That's right. Are you going?
At some point, to space, to Mars, to the moon. that next decade, if they're going to do it, yes, I'd want to go with, again, family, other choices. But, I think I can make it a business trip. I think I can,
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, by the time that they are doing this, your family obligations I think, will all be grown and starting their own rocket companies.
That's right. Yeah. And with the AI stuff, we don't have any real jobs,
Yeah,
so
right.
it'll be all good.
That's right.
Okay. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.